Alright, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Gonna go and deal with, I don't know actually, we are just dealing with some kind of high rank stuff that was building up to the big monster fights. I think I'm gonna do it Nibble Snarf, which is just a funny word to say. My button to go back isn't working. Weird. I wonder if the button has just died. Well, we'll find out if my controller is failing. We'll just go on the quest. Well, actually, it'll be a really good way to learn if I can't close menus. Let's see. No, I can't close menus. Okay, 1 second. Okay, what a false start. My controller that I've been using for the past few years, it had been failing over the past few months. The button that in Monster Hunter like rolls and stuff like that, every now and then would stick and it wouldn't go, and there's many recorded instances of it, of me being very frustrated by this happening. But I just want to keep on using the controller until it either died or fixed itself, whichever one worked. Ultimately, I guess it decided today was the day that the A button was just gonna be gone. There's potential of like opening it up and fixing it, and maybe it's like something's been corroded or a switch is just off place and like it's, I don't know. But controllers die after years, that's just life. As is, now I'm using a PS5 controller, so took a second to configure, but should be fine. For whatever the oddity of playing a Wii U game with a PS5 controller isn't really any odder than playing it with what I guess was an Xbox one. Suffice to say, we are okay now. At least I think so. Oh. Okay. Different buttons are in different places now. I'll get used to it. I kind of miss the days of a select button. Nowadays we have an options button, and sometimes it's just called a capture button. Options is not that much different from select, so that's fine, but capture, I didn't like capture when that replaced select. That felt wrong. All right, let's do Nibble Snarf. Fun name to say. We don't have a lot of stuff, nothing to worry about. We've eaten, we have good health. Let's go fight a Nibble Snarf and actually do something instead of messing around with controllers. Jeez. Although now I want to go hunt monsters, so it kind of works out. It's emotional preparation. Nibble Snarf is cool, I guess. It's an interesting monster, has unique mechanics, like it shoots and sprays sand, and it kind of mixes things that other monsters do, like Diablo, so it'll bury and throw up, I don't know what you would call them, disturbances in the sand as it does so. It will suck things in, kind of like the big monsters from Ocarina of Time, and I guess a lot of Legend of Zelda. So you throw bombs in your mouth, these folks will actually do something similar. And I wonder if it's a reference or it's just there's like a myth that of some monster doing that in Japanese mythology, because there's a lot of things like that that once you start to recognize them, you see them in a lot of works from the same area. It's like the big eyes. Like for a North American player, maybe the big eyes are a little bit confusing because you see them everywhere, and a lot of things will have like really big kind of fidgeting eyes, focus on stuff and follow movement. But I guess ages ago it used to be something that folks in the countryside in Japan would do, is like capture bugs. And there's a specific kind where you could take a stick or a focus item and spin it around, and their eyes would get all like stressed out, and you know, it's not exactly a pleasant thing, but it's, you know, it is what it is. People aren't nice to animals. But you see that in nicer ways replicated in Legend of Zelda and lots of other monsters, and then in like really heinous ways in like Resident Evil. But they're all Japanese developed, so there's these central mythologies. Nice. So this is Nibble Snarf. He's there trying to eat some Renoblos. In low rank, he's not going to be too bad, but having relatively recently fought him in third portable, I have to say he looks really good in 60 FPS. The slithering through the sand animation, it's just that much more fluid at a higher frame rate. When it was kind of at 30 before, it looks fine, but the movement looks a little bit clunkier because he's moving a little bit faster than the animation seems to fit. And this is all sides are balanced, which is a nice thing. And generally it's been the most fun part about, well, it's not the most fun part, but one of the most rewarding things about returning to 3 Ultimate is that this upgrade for the Wii U was definitely one of the biggest steps Monster Hunter had taken at that time. Now we're spoiled with incredibly beautiful games like World and Rise and the forthcoming Wilds. But for the longest time, the biggest critique against the series was that it hadn't upgraded in any way, like visually, and maybe mechanically. You know, it took a while for them to change up some things, and even here we see that changing out the feline mechanic for these shakalakas. I'm kind of not as in love with that change, because who wants less cats? I mean, unless you already have too many, but in Monster Hunter I have 0, and I want at least 1, so not a great change, but functionally they have a different culture, and the way that you interact with them as relates to upgrading their masks and giving them new ones, like, that's new to the series, so I get why they were trying something else. We don't have any like mounts like we do in Rise, but that was kind of one of the big additions to that game, was like, hey, you can ride a dog now. Which out of context sounds a little odd. I guess in context, it's still only like somewhat reasonable. They are very fast. Granted, you kind of have to have an interesting relationship. Like, it would very much be like a race dog or like a sled dog or something that's working. Because, like, I would never imagine wanting to put my dog in such an aggressive situation. You know, he's just napping in a bed right now, and I wouldn't be like, you know what, buddy, saddle up, I'm gonna take you into battle. If he was somehow invincible, I think it would be interesting. But even then, I wouldn't really want the trauma of him getting tumbled around by some dragon. So to take a pet into a situation like that, but you know, the cats are a different situation. Not just because cats generally don't care about too many things. I say that jokingly. Cats have souls, but it's more just the cats in this game are more intelligent than the dogs. So the dogs are still like dogs, you know. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. They can do a few more advanced things, but they never like speak language to you. The cats will be like, hey, what's up? I've completed my travels. I've learned how to cook as good as humans, and I wear clothes. So it's like they're kind of demi-human compared to straight up animals. I don't know, we've never actually seen, to my knowledge, if there are just regular cats in the Monster Hunter universe. There are only intelligent, sentient cats. Or maybe that's normal cats. They're just lazier in our universe, and that's how they are in any, instance. As it relates to this Nibble Snarf here, it's mostly just a game of Yeah, I didn't like the sentence I was producing there. Don't be near its vents. Because its mouth or its rear, I don't know, what they exhaust ports? I don't know what to call them. Those are deadly as well. He won't use them both at the same time, at least not in low rank to my knowledge. But they will knock you back. The downside is behind him or in front of him tend to be all of the directions, so picking your moment to attack is just is what it is, I guess. I should have sharpened. I'm liking playing on the PS5 controller. I'm very used to this because I've played so much World on PS4 and PS5. So this is honestly more intuitive than the Xbox controller. Plus, as it relates to just controllers in general, I would say the PS5 controller is probably one of the comfiest controllers I've ever used. It's at stiff odds with the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, because that one's just really wide in the back and feels really good in your palms. But the PS5 has the haptics and all that feedback and stuff. And you can't beat when a game uses the haptics properly, especially like if you are playing a game that includes firearms or some mechanical component like that. The feedback is really good. But I'm a big dork for any implementation that reduces ludonarrative dissonance. If something can make it feel more like I am in the game and the separation between me and the screen is less, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I have no idea why the screen was flashing for a second there, so I'm going to just presume it was Kiyamba's text box didn't pop up correctly or something. This is largely run really, really well. I would say all of the Wii U games that I've brought over to my computer have run fantastically. And I don't know if it's just the quality of the emulator that is doing it, which is Cemu, or if it is just the way that the games were designed themselves, because kind of like to the detriment, but maybe a hidden benefit of the Wii U was that it was largely locked to first party and people that were close to Nintendo. There wasn't a lot of folks like doing what they do now with the Switch, where it's just as much an indie market as it is a big developer market. But here it was like you had all the big staples. You had all of your Nintendo games and lots of good first party titles, and I think there's some Resident Evil stuff and Monster Hunter. And you know, it could just be that the benefit of that was the only people that were putting things on the Wii U really knew how to get good performance out of it. Or more cynically, that so many, well, we're no close. So many of the games that went on to the Wii U were just upgraded versions of normal Wii games. So they didn't really have to create something amazing from the get-go. They just had to make something that ran on worse hardware run decent on better hardware, which isn't exactly an advanced task. Sometimes it is. There are instances where even though you're performing an upgrade, it's there's unexpected errors. Like even to this day, like I play a lot of old games, and sometimes old games, why would they, don't know how to recognize your new graphics card. So it'll be like unable to detect graphics settings, defaulting to low. And it's like, this is a game that maybe expected you to have 512 megabytes of RAM and a gig of VRAM on your GPU would have been $1,000 plus luxury at that point. And now I think high-end GPUs are getting between 12 to 24 just in dedicated VRAM. But the old game doesn't know that, so it's like, oh, you're clearly a scrub running this on a toaster. Here is your 4x3, 2 pixels, enjoy. And it's always humorous. But there's also some games that were really designed for a certain type of hardware, and then nobody uses that anymore, so even though in practice what you have is more powerful, it doesn't know how to use that, or it uses it improperly, and then that turns your fancy new thing into something that's weak. I had this issue when I was playing Dragon Age Origins, the very first one. Dragon Age Origins runs better on older hardware than it does on new, unless you make a whack of modifications and changes, because it expects a dual-core CPU, and most modern gaming CPUs are going to be between 6 to 8 cores. What it doesn't do is use all of those cores properly. It'll just use 2 of your 8s, and without going into another fucking long diatribe, CPU core usage is split up between all of them, but if you look at a multi-core CPU compared to a dual-core CPU, those 2 individual cores may well be independently stronger than one of the 8 in a modern CPU, but it's because it's splitting up the load among a higher number of items. It's effectively a good synopsis. So when you're going to Dragon Age Origins, it tries to use just those 2. They don't know how to do that. They're not used to dual core operation, and things run weird. Even me, after making modifications, expanding the memory access that it had, and doing all these things to try and make it run better in the back end, it would still, almost on cue, crash at about an hour and a half. So it was convenient that I only ever recorded for an hour at a time. But if I was like, ooh, I have a free afternoon, let's do 2 episodes, I would have to, shut down the entire game, restart to make sure that my RAM was cleared of the old stuff that it was referencing, and then make it full brand new and record for another hour. I couldn't just like pause, restart the recording, and then go ahead. Didn't work like that. This has not been too bad, outside of like the random flashing of a black screen a few moments ago, and I think that was just a text box getting pulled in weird. But generally, Nintendo games are pretty well designed. Even if they are using really janky ways of implementing something, jank that doesn't blow something up is just a feature. So it could very well be that if you look at something outside of context, you're like, why did this ever happen? But then when you examine it in like maybe the context of the hardware that is released alongside, then you realize like, oh, they're doing black magic here to get way better performance out of something that has no excuse to give it. Like if you look into how they handle all of the distance rendering, and even a game as modern as Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, the hardware for the Switch, or I guess Breath of the Wild came out on Wii U, which is even more impressive. It's not crazy hardware that can do like these distances that stretch to the far end of the world, but if you play those games, one of the biggest mechanics is getting up to the top of a tower or a mountain or whatever and seeing where you want to go. You can put a marker wherever you can see, and you can basically see as far as there is stuff. And they implemented that with like, I think it was like 16 different layers of images that had differing degrees of detail, so that, you know, you could be really, really far away and you would basically see what is 3 tiles stretched out. But it allowed the weaker hardware to give the impression of looking really, really far. And then as you got closer, you got more and more and more detail. And tons of games do that. But the way that it was implemented in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is really almost flawless, I would say. Especially in Tears of the Kingdom when you're like falling down from the top of the world. Another game that does implementation and optimization and stuff like that really well is Metal Gear Solid 5. I would say Metal Gear Solid 5 could run on pretty much any computer that you could buy nowadays, and it would give not just a good experience, it would give like an impressive experience. That could just be that, you know, Kojima has secretly stolen the souls of every single person that works for him, and in trade, he is able to squeak out extra performance from any piece of hardware. Who knows? But the game does run very, very well. I don't think I recall it ever crashing. I don't think I really recall many Nintendo games crashing, just in general. Although there is one in this game that I'm a little bit worried about. We'll see what happens when we get there. Like, I can work around it. It's not a big deal. But there is a, I guess it's a localization issue, you could call it. But the code of the game, at a certain point, looks for a cutscene. And this one cutscene, for whatever reason, is named a different way compared to the others. And when it tries to look for it, it can't find it, pulls a black screen, doesn't know how to recover from it, and then it just kind of hangs out on the black screen. I would feel like an easy fix would just be to change the name of the video, but I haven't, for whatever reason, seen any reports of that working. And then I've seen updates that, you know, changes and just general optimizations to how this game is being run make it so that's not an issue anymore anyways. So I will see. But it is what it is. It's not a big deal. I have the video itself. Because when I grabbed the game and brought it over from the actual version that I have to this, you get all the videos and all the files as part of that process, and you can just open them up like a folder. I thought, I was like kind of an internal debate actually, whether or not, oh well, there we go. Low rank nibble snarf isn't too threatening, so it's kind of just good to shoot the crap while fighting them. But I didn't know if I should let the game show the cutscenes and then just record that as I go through it, or cut them and then add the original video files in editing where the cutscenes would have been. I went back and forth on it, and then I just decided to be lazy, and we have what we have now, and it seems fine, so it works out for everyone. It's actually, I did this too much in other Monster Hunter games, where I just did probably a little too much editing. Like, it doesn't make anything hard to watch, but it's just like I was doing stuff that was for me that I don't think anyone else was gonna look at, and I was like, I can just cut that out and save myself 15 minutes of video or something, and it's worth it. And I guess there's not a farm anymore either, so there's really no point in me like grabbing and cropping video and putting what I've got, because I'm not getting that stuff, which is kind of sad. Pretty good haul from the Nibble Snarf. Decent money. I kind of have to imagine Nibble Snarf is one of the required quests for this rank. We'll see. Okay, I'll put away the stuff that I have. Cool. What do we got? The Lord of the Seas, so we can capture... Do I have to fight another Duramboros, or do I have to capture the Legiacrus? Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if it was one or the other. This game kind of does that type of thing. Oh well. I'll kind of just check. I really, honestly, I recommend doing it if you play the game yourself. Don't feel like you have to do every single quest, because sometimes it's more rewarding to get through things, make armor where you need to, get some high quality stuff or some really powerful gear, and then go back and clean up all of the other quests and all the other ranks, and you're that much stronger, and it's a little bit faster. It's quite fun. Okay. Okay, Lord of the Seas. Yeah, we got that. Oh god, this page sucks. Yeah, no, I gotta do, no, I don't have to do hammer time. Oh, I have to do the ancient mask. That's why. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Pressing the wrong button. Yeah, I gotta cancel that quest. That's fine. So, the ancient mask. Okay, well, we already have the Ligigra scales. The Pelagasite isn't too hard. The shark skin. Let's see how easy we can make getting the shark skin. Can we buy fishing harpoons? We can. Okay. I think that's everything we need, and then it's just a low drop rate on some of these monsters, so we'll go out and try and grab those. Or you know what? I might just go do a gathering quest version of this. It'll be a little bit easier to teleport out. Or no, I changed my mind. I'm going back and forth. I'm gonna go here because if I find something, I can hunt it. And then I might need points, so it's kind of one of those things. Every Monster Hunter game does have some sort of way that you're interacting with the village that you're from or visiting. This one, you have these requests. The others, you kind of just build up points as you do different things. And then they can be spent to upgrade your farm or purchase different things, sometimes purchase buildings. A lot of different options. Yeah, I remember, honestly, the very first time I ever played 3U, or try, I got stuck on this part. I couldn't figure out why can't I progress? What am I doing wrong? And I ended up doing, I imagine, pretty much all of the quests, because I was just so focused on making progress. But this game definitely wants you to do a few different things, interact with the Shakalakas, improve your overall standing. Can we get some Pelagasite here? That'd be awesome. We cannot. There's like a shiny thing here. An abalone piece. I don't even... Was that just like a reward item? Yeah, it is. Alright, cool. Well, I think the sharks are over here. And we have to get them with a fishing harpoon. The big thing is if you fight them regularly, you will not get a shark skin. It's like harvesting them wrong. But I also don't think the fishing harpoon instantly kills them, so we're gonna experiment here. There we go. Immunizer, okay. Can we get a shark skin? And this may be something that's better to come out and do by myself. Because if the Shakalakas get a hit in, they might temper. See, that could have been... Yeah, him getting it. So maybe I don't really want my Shakalakas here as a misnomer. Can I just easily return to the village? Oh, I can. Well, that's cool. Okay. No. You send great thanks. Okay, now other one. Cha-cha. I will take the monster bones you have. And stay at the village. Okay. Perfect. Might as well buy more pickaxes. It's not exactly riveting stuff getting a shark skin, but it is essential. Oh, I already have all of my iron pickaxes. I was just breaking old ones. Oh, well. Flooded forest, sandy plains. I guess we can't get a gathering quest there because it's just outside the village. This is the way. So that's fine. Oh, I should have brought... Oh, well. We'll see if I can, like, do one stab with my sword or one swing and then finish with a harpoon. I just don't want to overkill them. That's the biggest risk. Okay. I think swimming through down here is faster than running across from 2 to 5 to 9. I think this puts us at... Wait, this just puts us right to 9. Ah. And there's a royal Ludroth. I mean, I'll hunt a royal Ludroth. Why not? Always good to build up the points, and that's kind of the point we're at. We're in this story, we're very much like prepping for this big fight. The ancient mask is absolutely required for it. It would be very tough to do without, just because of the abilities that it offers. Oh no, a fishing harpoon was stolen. Okay, we got it back. Oh darn. It's funny, all the things that are getting killed as collateral damage. I'm just getting points for it all, so I can't really complain about that. Nah, I'm being overly greedy while this guy is, like, ravaging me. But I did actually get a ration, which is better than I could have hoped for. If this could be a ration too, that'd be so awesome. But no, I'm gonna take a stupid hit. Okay, well now I want to hunt this royal Ludroth just because I'm cranky with it. Although I really hope I don't have to hunt a whole whack of them again as this game goes into high rank. Maybe I will, but last time for third portable, I had to hunt this one and the purple variant so many times just to get some gear that was strong enough to kind of progress through a certain part of the game. Every now and then, it depends on edition and a few different traits, but the game will lock you into a position where you kind of have to fight some awkward monsters and you're not severely advantaged. And what I mean by that is, like, you might have to fight a fire monster or something, and you don't get any armor that's particularly good against fire. You just kind of have to pick something that you can manage with what you have, or hunt some of the things that are a little bit lower than it, and you get better defense, and you might get better at the game because you're forced to play it, but you don't get anything that's gonna give you a direct advantage until you beat it, prove you don't need it, and then it'll be like, oh, here you go, bro. Here's like 3 things that you could use. That's Monster Hunter's philosophy for rewarding the player. Nice, another ration. Well, I'm kind of going the opposite of the direction that I wanted, but now I've committed. No point trying to back away from something once you've agreed to it. It's not good practice. Try and finish stuff when you can. I've really learned this about like stories and stuff like that. Like some of my favorite projects, I actually was really struggling with as I was working through, and I didn't know how I was gonna finish them. I didn't know how I was gonna, I guess, meet the brief that I set out for myself. Is a good way to describe it. You know, hit the standard you wanted to hit. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll just workshop this or save it for later. But actually forcing myself to go through each of the chapters really taught me about the mechanics of writing and art and story crafting, and how it's just as much an intentional kind of blueprint and structure that you're building as it is, you know, a creative outlet. You get to be creative in between the lines, but knowing which lines you need, that's part of designing the program. And doing it when you may not feel the motivation exactly is a great way to get good at the program side of the art. And we all have different strategies. I think learning somebody else's strategies is almost useless, at least for my personality type. You know, you can take something useful or a few ideas maybe, but largely the strategy you're going to use is the one that you develop and the one that feels natural. I really like doing kind of like, you know, visual webs are neat, but they don't inherently work for me because I'm not a super like graphic person. I don't need that type of visual. I like things that are really well written out. So I will give myself lots of plotting, lots of notes, and I'll kind of illustrate things where they need to go. So I'll like, oh, this scene, this will be this, I can put this here, this is we need this character moment to happen along the point. And then once you know all of the big things you have to hit, you can be creative as you kind of drive between them or through them or connect them all. But it's good to have an internal line of logic. It's frustrating, for me anyways, when you go to a project, movie, TV show, game, whatever it is, and you can see the passion and all the interesting stuff, but they just kind of got lost on the internal connectivity. And as a result, you don't know where all the strings go right, or if they connect to anything at all. And that's always, I don't like that. I like a project that if you're going to take it seriously, it also takes itself seriously, even if it's about something silly. It's just nice to know that the people that are making it care about it. And when you don't feel that, it's like, well, why should I care about it if you don't? Not everyone, I think, wants to take their media that seriously, though. I'm kind of overtly serious. My preference too. It's fun to get into stuff. You know, I'm not into what I guess you would call soup conversations, but I'm not into soup hobbies. I do like making soup as a hobby. I'm making stew right now. It smells delicious, and it's kind of frustrating because it's so good that my stomach hurts even though I know I ate. It's just all of those primal instincts are being engaged. But I don't want a hobby or a habit or a conversation that may as well not happen and nothing would change. You know, I like to feel like something's being exchanged or learned, or there's a reason to get involved. Like if you look at something, like I just recently rewatched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and then as a result of, I don't know, everything spying on you, or maybe I was looking at a website and something, I started getting recommended posts and Reddit about Full Metal Alchemist, and I saw like people are connecting how she's named everything to passages in the Bible and like old religious paradigms and false popes, and like there's all these things, like even just the way that she structured the story is whether that makes it more meaningful or not, that's up for debate, but it was something that at least was considered, and that to me inherently makes it more meaningful, even if the choices themselves don't evoke anything. It's just better than someone opening up a name generator and taking the first option. At least you'd hope so. Now, what we really also hope for is that these sharks give me skin. I'm a little scared to hit it. I don't want it to instantly die. Ah, darn it, it instantly died. Okay, we'll take it really slow and just fishing harpoon this thing to death. Darn, I'm gonna break all of my harpoons on this thing. If so, like, what's the fix for that? Do I come back with like a really bad weapon and try it again? Like, this guy really seems to not care that I have stabbed him multiple times with a harpoon. Hey, nice. Okay, that killed him. Can I get a shark skin and get out of here? Immunizer? No, bro. Come on. Oh, I can just regularly punch. I wonder how many... Oh, God. What's the difference between regular punch and eventually harpooning? Because I just don't want to break my last 2 harpoons. This is the high-end engage in Monster Hunter gameplay right here. Punching sharks so that you can eventually harpoon them. Okay, I'm just making sure I don't accidentally kill it with punches. You know, you don't want to... I feel like a 3-to-1 ratio of punching to harpooning. That seems reasonable to me. And watch, like, my memory is wrong, and this is not how you get the shark skin. All right. Raw meat. Come on, bro. Clearly, he just likes punching sharks. Okay. 1 punch. 2 punches. 3 punches. Harpoon. Oh god, now I'm getting Legend of Dragoon, lying flashbacks. Ugh. I'm lying on my system now, but I get cautious near the end there. Alright. More raw meat. Bro. Oh, am I gonna drown? I'm gonna go breathe really quickly. What a statement. So easy to forget when you're underwater in this game. Hey, fresh air. Alright. Back to punching a shark. I really hope it gives me shark skin. Like, come on. You are a shark. Most of your skin should be shark skin. If there's skin inside you that is not shark skin, that's acceptable. Like, I understand if it's in your stomach, you ate something. But please let the skin on the outside be shark skin. Oh, come on. Hey, bro. Thank you. Ugh. Okay, come on. More raw meat. What is this? Well, what are these sharks made out of? Like, we're all made of raw meat. I feel like there's more valuable things to grab. Yeah, no, I'm doing the right thing. I'm just getting really unlucky. So, you know, that's always fun. Come on, sharks. Maybe I'll have to come back. I guess I didn't get lucky with the Pelagisite ore either. Not that I would really, like, I'm not going here for Pelagisite largely. I feel like other places are better for that. It's kind of just, why not check type of thing. Ah, well. Anything interesting here? What do you get if you mine this? Mock lights. Aqua glow. Aqua glow. Mock light. Okay, nothing crazy interesting. So now we get the fun of just trying to grind out shark skin. Not exactly, you know, what I thought I was going to be doing, but sometimes you just gotta skin some sharks. I do think it's possible to get better quality fishing harpoons, but as is, eh. If I find another Royal Ludroth though, I'm not gonna fight that one too. That's too much Royal Ludroth slayage. If I encountered a Legiacrus, I'd be somewhat tempted, but I have all the scales I need for right now. And part of me feels like the Rathlos gear will be the way to go to kind of finish off village quests. But then again, what do I need underwater? I don't think the final boss for the village actually has elemental beyond like water, but I don't think water is actually its own. Or is it? Yeah, water is its own. So I think it does water. I don't think Rathlos is particularly great against water. But ice and thunder are its main weaknesses, so it may just be neutral to water. Literally don't know. When I first beat the village boss, the thing that's actually causing the earthquakes, I had to actually change out weapons. So I will be curious to see if I'm able to do it with a greatsword this time around, or like last time when I first played, I need to go for something faster. Because the fight is somewhat timed. It's kind of comparative to Yenmoran from the other games, where the creature is kind of just doing its thing going along, and you are hunting it while it does so. You're not in a vehicle, but similar concepts and similar time frame, because I don't think like most quests you have 50 minutes. This one I think you have 30. And then I was reading that you should just hit these things until they swim weird. And then the next hit with a harpoon will get them. So, hunting sharks with your fist tips. Come on. Hey, there we go. Okay, give me a shark skin, buddy. Raw meat. Trying to count exactly how many punches I need. Is it like 9, 10? I think we're on 8 on this shark. Can't tell if that's... Well, now I'm just gonna have to finish it off with a harpoon. Oh, this one's tenacious, jeez. Hey, that punch finished it off. Okay. Let's see here, fish. Give me some shark skin. Oh my god, no. I'm kind of glad I got that Royal Ludroth fight in, because otherwise it's just a lot of being underwater. This is like one of those animated backgrounds from back in the day. You know, there's that aquarium game, but it was, you know, there's a free version. You could do a few different things with the aquarium, but all the good stuff was for the paid version. And then, like, there were, like, tokens you could buy. And I don't know if that was the first, like, digitally distributed game, if it was the first pay-to-win game, if it was just, like, I was a kid and didn't, you know, buy the full thing ever. I remember the game being very, very captivating, and you could, with the paid version, set your aquarium to be your wallpaper. Very riveting stuff. And it's kind of making a comeback now with, like, wallpaper engine and razor axon and whatever, but none of those are aquariums with fish you made and fed yourself. Okay, shark, come on. At least on the bright side, I'm saving more harpoons this time. I might break one here because I'm kind of just like being cautious, finishing it off. Hey, shark. Thank you. Okay, give me shark skin, please, game. Oh my god, a sharpened fang, bro. Like, that's cool and all. But the RNG on this shark skin must be really, truly awful. Okay, 7, 8. And then, what, 2 stabs after 8? 3, 4, 5. Yes, game, I know I'm drowning. I will go and get air in a moment. I have to see if I have shark skin, game. Hey, I got shark skin. It was worth almost drowning. I don't even need to go back to the surface. I'm just going to return to the village. Oof. Okay. I think I only needed the one piece of shark skin. Thank God. Yeah. Now I just need some pelagisite ore. I can probably quickly run out and grab that. I'm actually going to put away the shark skin so there's no chance of a cat accidentally stealing it from me. Because that would be really frustrating after how annoying that is to get. Okay. Can run a very quick gathering quest out to the flooded forest, and that should be enough to get at least 2 pieces of pelagisite. Then I can get the mask, and that's a great place to pick up for next time. So let's hope. And then really here, yeah, we're not fighting. We're just gonna run to, well, there's some potentially right here, depending on how lucky we get. Are we gonna get 2 right off the bat? No. I imagine the game is going to opt to hate me, so... have to fight these loot drops. Playing with the PS5 controller though, it's been very nice. I might have go through all of my USB-C cables to see which one I want here, but it's fine. Just for something like this, you kind of want like a fabric cable that's a little bit more maneuverable. Not something. I have a really like thick data cable right now. Yeah, I figured it was gonna work. But it's very stiff. Okay. No mining points in 3. Yeah, well, it's usually 5 and 6. If you get lucky, I think there can be one here on the side. But no such luck. Okay, we got one here. Come on, give us some pelagisite, game. Iron we don't need. Wow. All the ores that we don't need. Seriously, how tremendously unlucky. Not even one piece. And it's probably my greatest grievance with 3U is the amount of content is awesome. The way the game runs and looks and even feels to play, because there's a few different changes in like how you roll and how the camera follows you when you move. But the lack of having a dedicated mine, ugh, it's a killer. And seriously, what is this all iron ore? Like, weird. So typically pelagisite ore, in my recollection of it, is only underwater, and it's because, like, if you read the description of it, it's not actually an ore, but it's an incredibly compressed material made out of, like, shellfish and stuff like that. So it wouldn't make sense for it to appear at a mining node above the water. But we'll try anyways. Who knows? Maybe the drop lists are mixed. And these loot drop, like, seriously, just go away. You act like they're possessive of the mines or something. Alright. Not that great disappointment. I'll go hit up this mining spot. We're here. Might as well try, but I wouldn't expect anything from this one. Yep. Horribly unlucky. I'll have to go and get some pelagisite later in my own time. I'm not gonna run that over and over again after getting bored out of my mind trying to punch sharks. So we'll return our ticket. Oh, right, I gotta grab it from here. And then put it over here. Alright. Well, I guess that's where I'll end it. I'll go save and drop some stuff off. But that's this episode of Monster Hunter 3U. See you around when I get some more pelagisite ore, and we'll build the ultimate mask next time around. Thanks for watching. Bye.